Arsenal just took a massive gamble in a League Cup quarterfinal. They fielded a team packed with academy kids against a really tough Brighton side. And the result? Well, it was a stunning 2-0 win that has absolutely everyone talking about the future at the Emirates. So today we're going to break down exactly how this incredibly bold move paid off. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at how Brighton came out swinging and almost took control right away. Then, we'll get to the good stuff, how the academy kids fought back and completely turned the game on its head. After that, we'll shine a spotlight on those young stars, break down Arteta's brilliant subs, and then wrap it all up with the final player ratings. And really, this was the big question hanging over the entire match before a ball was even kicked. A cup quarterfinal. You know, there's no place to hide. Mikel Arteta put an incredible amount of faith in his Haaland graduates. The question was, could they actually deliver?
All right, let's get right into the action. Because for a little while there, it seriously looked like Arsenal's big gamble was about to backfire, and backfire badly. Brighton came out of the gates absolutely flowing, and they put the young Gunners under some serious pressure.
The first 10 minutes were just relentless from Brighton. A sloppy defensive mistake gave them a massive chance, forcing a huge save from Kepa. Then, from an Arsenal corner of all things, Brighton hits them with this lightning-fast counter-attack, and Stefanos Tsioumas somehow misses what should have been a simple tap-in. I mean, Arsenal were pinned, they couldn't get out of their own half, they looked completely overwhelmed. But, you know, after weathering that early storm, the youngsters started to settle in. They began to find their feet. And then, in the second half, wow, they didn't just find their feet, they completely rewrote the story of the match and repaid every bit of faith Arteta had put in them.
This goal was it was pure Haaland, a perfect snapshot of the Academy's whole philosophy. It starts with this really clever touch from Merino that just slices right through Brighton's defense. He feeds Myles Lewis-Skelly, who delivers a perfect, precise cutback, and there's Ethan Nwaneri to calmly slot it home for his first senior goal. Just a beautiful, sharp team move.
And see, this win wasn't just about one goal. It was a statement from a whole new generation of talent. So let's zoom in and take a closer look at the key young players who really made this happen.
First off, can we just take a moment to appreciate this number? 15. Max Dowman wasn't just on the bench, he was in the starting lineup. That makes him the youngest player to ever start a competitive game for Arsenal. That is just incredible.
And he wasn't just there for the experience, not at all. He actually influenced the game. Brighton got so worried about him that they started putting 2 defenders on him. That is a massive sign of respect for a 15-year-old. After having a pretty strong penalty shout denied, he left the field to a standing ovation, and he absolutely deserved it.
This quote from the match report just says it all. It translates to a bright spark every time he was on the ball, and that's exactly what he was. He played with confidence, with flair. He just brought this buzz of excitement to the whole stadium whenever he got a touch.
And of course, you have to talk about the guy who got the breakthrough, Ethan Nwaneri. It took him a little while to get into the flow of the game, but man, once he scored that goal, his first for the club, breaking the duck as they say, his confidence just went through the roof. His technique, the way he strikes the ball so cleanly, shows he's a natural finisher. He was a huge threat from that point on.
And then you've got Myles Lewis-Skelly, who just put in such a complete performance. I mean, not only did he provide that perfect assist for the opening goal, but he really seemed to enjoy the defensive side of things too. He was brilliant in his duels, completely shutting down Brighton's wingers. A fantastic two-way game from him.
So, the kids have done their job and gotten the lead, but the game is still tight. Arteta knew it was time. Time to bring on the big guns, to see it out and lock down the win.
And the impact of those substitutions was just immediate. You could feel the whole dynamic of the game shift. Before they came on, Arsenal still looked a little bit vulnerable. But afterwards, the team was instantly more organized, way more dangerous on set pieces, and just in complete control. The tension just sort of vanished. Each one of them played their role perfectly. Jurrien Timber goes on this brilliant weaving run that creates the chaos for the second goal. Bukayo Saka, of course, is the quickest to react and pounces on the loose ball to finish it. And Gabriel's presence just made every single corner kick a major problem for Brighton.
All right, so after a performance like that, how did everybody stack up? Let's get to the final ratings and see who really shone the brightest on the night.
And this is what I love to see. The top performers were this perfect blend of youth and experience. The 2 academy kids who combined for the goal,
Dowman and Nwaneri both get a solid 7 out of 10, and they're right there alongside the veteran keeper, Kepa, who saves in those first few minutes were every bit as important as the goals.
And look, you have to give massive credit to the manager. Mikel Arteta's call to trust the youth was a huge risk, but it paid off beautifully. The kids delivered, the team moves on to the semi-finals, and hey, that dream of a quadruple, it's still technically alive. That's a well-earned 7 out of 10 for the gaffer, for sure.
And all of this leaves us with one final, very exciting question. We saw skill, we saw composure, we saw real chemistry from players who are barely out of school. So, are we witnessing the very first signs of the next great Arsenal team? One that's being built from the ground up right in their own academy? Only time is going to tell, but it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.